Hi, Sandra Crathen, Inner Vision, talking about my Health Fountain tool, week 4, which I'm really excited about. So this is the Health Fountain, and I've been, over the last few weeks, talking about little aspects of health and well-being that we can all pay attention to improve our general health. So the first week I spoke about effective communication, which was to do with communicating with other people, and the second week was to communicating to ourselves. Week 3 was all about our purpose, finding our purpose, and this week is about finding a sense of spirit, which is on the tool. And if you have a little look at some of the other talks, you can catch up, which is what I'd love you to do, to find out the whole holistic view, which is what I'm really trying to impress in bite-sized portions. So I've shared a little bit about why I created the tool, and I think my life was okay, but there were aspects of it that weren't as manageable as I'd like. And I think breaking things down into these tiny little sections helps us to really focus on improving our general health overall, and also keeping our general health improved, rather than, what happens often, you make these New Year's resolutions, or you choose to do something different and then you fall back into old behaviour. So I have kept quite a lot of weight off for some years now. 18 years now. I don't smoke now, I don't drink, I communicate more effectively, and I'm in a much better place. I was in a marriage that wasn't in a great place either. So it really is about doing the next smallest tiny thing and making it a habit. I think that's the key thing I did, was to make things into a habit. When you do them religiously and continually, they become a bit of a habit. So what are we going to talk about today when we explore spirituality or spirit? For some people that is religion, and it is about having a faith in perhaps God. Or for some people, it's a faith in a higher power. They may not choose to use the word God. Some people have a very specific religion. So it might be a Christian, or they might have other faith that they follow. And there's other people, as I've shared, that don't have maybe a specific faith, but they do believe in something. Maybe it's a creator or some higher sense of something. But in my understanding, and I do believe this to be the truth, that actually there's a lot of evidence based on having some sort of faith in something greater than ourselves is very healing and can help and guide us as we go through our lives. So how do we connect with that sense of spirit? Well, I'm not a guru on it. I don't actually have a religion. I have a sense of spirit, which is really deep in my heart, and it's a real inner guidance, I think, for me. So in the Health Fountain tool that I've created, in the area that says spirit, I get people to put a score of 0 to 10. And 10 is they feel very much in connection with the spirit, and 0 is they don't at all. And my suggestion is, if you don't feel very connected, or you don't feel there is a sense of spirit, or you don't believe in anything, maybe spend some time in quiet and actually check in with your body, what actually is going on, and if there is a sense of spirit. Because I believe, and there is research to suggest, that we are not just a mind and body and emotions, but we are a spirit, essentially. We all are spirit, and that is the essence of who we are. So it would be great, wouldn't it, if we could tap into that wonderful power. There's a lot of research to say that I think in many hospitals they were doing some research on faith, and they did some surveys on patients that were having some surgery, and the patients that were having surgery improved dramatically. I think there was 20% increase in their healing rate, the ones that did have a faith in something, whether they were praying regularly, or they believed that they would get better, or they asked for that sort of guidance. So there is a lot of evidence that faith can improve our well-being. So, maybe be open to that. I didn't used to be myself, but now I have a really strong faith, and I think the way to connect with anything really is just to be still. Whatever it is we're searching for, when there's lots of mayhem and commotion and to-do lists and getting up and getting on with life, we're not still enough or slow enough to really pay attention to what it is that we're searching for or seeking. Some people find that they've had terrible illness or accidents, and following those things, or terrible bereavement, they've said actually it was one of the best things that happened to them because it allowed them to slow down and really connect with themselves. And this is what this whole tool is about, really. It's about connecting with yourself. So maybe spend a little bit of time. I would suggest, maybe a few minutes every day or a prolonged period. I do half an hour meditation, specific meditation, where I'm quiet every day. And I do believe that quietness helped me to tap into what I really need, and helps me to tap into what's going on for me and to get some sort of guidance and direction. Sometimes you just feel like this inspiration come from somewhere, or you get like an inner intuition about something. I think that is something that I feel is connected with my spirit. So find yourself some quiet time, if that's humanly possible. And spend a little bit of time just being quiet and ask yourself, maybe write down, is there anything other than just me, on the planet? Obviously there's other people, but is there any power? And when we look at nature, that in itself I think is pretty incredible. It just seems to know what to do. So when I look outside and look at the seasons, I'm like, well, how does that all know what to do? There must be a greater force than Sandra on the planet. So I do believe in, often there are situations that happen that people say are quite miraculous. I remember a story of someone telling me about an elderly lady who saw one of her grandchildren, I think it was, trapped in a car, and she ripped the car door off. Where does that inner strength come from? And I do feel that there is some sense of connection with a spirit or guidance or something within us that gives us a real true power. So how would it be to unleash that power? I certainly feel I have, and I've been able to learn so much more about myself by having some sort of faith. And isn't it interesting, often when we're in trouble, we pray, don't we? I remember when I didn't believe in God or anything, or didn't believe in a power greater than me, and one of my children was ill, or one of my family was ill, and I straight away prayed. What's that about? Why do people do that? And there is a lot of research to suggest that the power of prayer is quite phenomenal. So maybe be open, check in with yourself, spend a few minutes maybe each day or a block of time where you can just be really still, maybe write down some questions that you'd like answered and see if you feel those questions can be answered in some way, and maybe explore it. But the reality is, if you have balance in all areas, and this is what this whole tool is about, balance in all different areas, then you will reap the rewards of that. And I do feel that if you have some sense of spirit, your health will generally be much improved, as mine has since I've had a sense of spirit. So I really wish you luck with this, and I'll give you a sneak preview of what the next episode is all about, and it's going to be about our bodies. Really important how we look after our body and what condition our body is in. If we're not in great shape, that'll have a massive effect on our health and well-being, which we all know anyway, but maybe some little tips in there on how to really connect with your body. So I hope you found it of use today, and I really look forward to doing these. I normally release them every 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. I don't want to saturate you, but I also want you to maybe get the full benefit of this tool that I've created, because the bottom line is our health and well-being is across the board, not just one thing. It includes many things: our mental health, our physical health, spiritual, emotional. There's a lot of elements that are involved. So I look forward to speaking with you in a few weeks' time.